Life is a casino. We don't sink, we just hit them off with C-notes. And you can bet it all. I'ma be the last one standing tall. Joey Merlino.
What's up, G?
Life is a casino. We don't sink, we just hit them off with C-notes. And you can bet it all. I'ma be the last one standing tall. Joey Merlino.
With Joey Merlino.
Welcome back to the Skinny with Joey Merlino and Lil Snuff. Today we're live, Boca Raton, Florida, Podcast Junkie Studio, where it's nice and warm. I got out of Philly where it's rainy and cold. Special guest on the podcast, Nick Matassini, is back in the house. I think this is your third time, right, Nick? Fourth time on the podcast. Before we get started on what we're really going to talk about today, we got to dive into a couple things that are just circling the internet. What's up, Baba? How you doing?
What's happened? What happened? I want the people to see you ain't orange no more. Last week you were orange. Look at your tin.
Joe, it was the lighting.
Your fucking balls lighting.
Yes, it was.
I wish I had the picture from last week.
Well, we could get the picture. I'll add it in. They know I don't go tanning.
Tanning.
I'm naturally tan.
You look like Snooki. Get the fuck out of here.
Scott, it's a Nick. You see what I got to deal with?
Nick,
You look great.
Yes, thank you.
He lost weight. He looks good.
Thank you, Nick.
You did lose weight. He's down to one chin.
Yeah.
That's what you got, one chin.
I know. I
You
had
had
a lot
three.
of them.
You're down to one.
All right. Enough of me. I got to get into something, Joe, that's been all over the internet, and we've been getting hit with the DMs left and right. Sammy the Bull. What is happening with this guy?
Guy's a fucking nut.
Stone cold.
He's a fucking predator, stalker, fucking rapist. He fucking molesting girls. He's a fucking... I blame the judge that sentenced him and the U.S. attorneys. He killed 18 people, 19 people. One he lied about, the young kid. They still never solved that. He got 5 years. He did 1 year in jail. 1 year in jail. They let him out.
Mm-hmm.
He sold ecstasy. He fucking poisoned fucking thousands of college kids. He went away again. The FBI was going to let him off the hook, but Arizona didn't play that. He went to jail again. Now he got out again. He rapes girls. He molests girls, whatever the fuck he does. All the people that work for him.
And it's
pulling his dick out, fucking sticking his tongue down his throat, molesting him.
It's crazy. It really
But I blame the judge and the prosecutor.
But what do they have to see for this guy to change what he's doing? Like, how could you just keep allowing this?
He's too old to change at this point. He is who he is.
Yeah.
But what, like Joe said, it's a disgrace that he was given the deal that he got, being the person that he is, and his true colors have shown. He hasn't changed.
Yeah.
He's doing the same shit.
I wish we could do it. If we could do a thing with all these rats, but they got different names, so you don't know. Right. Believe me, they all commit crimes. You see them all. They all get locked the fuck up. Mm-hmm. But they just got a license. Nothing happens to them.
Nothing.
They're on the internet threatening us every day. If I said one word like that, I'd be locked up in 3 seconds.
Yep.
But they got a license. It should happen to the U.S. attorney and the judge's daughters. See how they like it.
There's an allegation Sammy was brandishing a pistol, right?
Oh, yeah. I'm going by what the girl said. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Now, I want to ask you a question. If I'm a convicted felon, if I get caught with a gun, I'm getting 15, 20 years immediately. How the fuck's he allowed to have a gun?
He's not supposed to. So even if your name is changed, right, in the witness protection program, it doesn't mean you continue to possess a firearm. That's just not okay. So he's clearly breaking the rules, committing crimes, and he's doing it with impunity because he doesn't give a shit. He's already been given so many chances and so many green lights to do what he wants. He thinks he can do whatever he wants, and it sounds like that's what he's doing.
Are you sure about that, though? Because these motherfuckers, all of them on the internet, say, you come to my house, I got to stay on the ground, they ain't saying I'll shoot you, but stay in your ground means shoot you. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
karate chop you?
You know, even if you're a convicted felon, you're entitled to defend yourself. You're entitled to defend your home, but you still can't possess a firearm if you're a convicted felon. So, you know, he'd have a hell of a time showing any kind of exigent circumstances that required him to arm himself when he's a knowing convicted felon who's not allowed to possess one. So, if I were the prosecutor over there, I would look at that and consider charging him for being a felon in possession of a firearm, no question, irrespective of the witness protection program. He blew all of those protections long time ago.
Yeah, he's a fucking serial killer. Picture living next door to him. They should do that, like the Megan's Law.
Yeah.
They should. I said it. They should tell you. You want to know who's living next door to you? The fucking guy killed 19 people. He's your fucking neighbor.
He looks like one of the aliens from Area 54, right?
I
think they found him in the capsule.
I think that you got to face that ugly motherfucker.
But how many?
He's a homo too. He's gay. He's everything.
Well, that was the brother-in-law, right? The brother-in-law.
Yeah, he fucked the brother-in-law. That's why he killed the brother-in-law.
Yeah.
He's gay. He's a fucking child. He does it all. He ain't missed nothing.
Well, how many times does he have to get in trouble for them to say, "Wow, something's really wrong here"? We gave this guy the best deal of his life.
They don't give a fuck.
Yeah, he's already 80. I mean, but after he ratted on Gotti and was sentenced and given a sweetheart deal, everybody knows he went out and was basically selling ecstasy to any young kid in Arizona.
Yeah.
He had a big ecstasy ring. He did a lot of time for that. And, the feds basically had to, lose
Well, the feds didn't know about that. The state charged him. They
They eventually found out.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah,
but
they
it was
eventually
too late.
found out
But
it
if
was
they
too
would've
late,
told-
right?
Before, they would have tipped them off, and they would have squashed it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And unfortunately, everybody who went to trial where Sammy the Bull was a witness against him, right? They didn't know about any of that. They didn't have the impeachment information available to him at the time about the crimes and misdeeds he was committing as Arizona because he was hiding it from everybody.
Listen, see how they said he got 5 years? He didn't do no 5. He did a year. I had the 2 rats on my father's case. Nicky Crow and Tommy Dull, they were on the stand. And it was funny. They had him in, I think it was Crow. They had him in fucking Virginia somewhere. Some fucking where, like, somebody that we knew was there. It was a condo. They went for a vacation. They're sitting around a pool drinking fucking Crows at the bar.
They don't go to regular prisons, right? They go to country clubs
Yeah,
that
yeah.
don't
Well,
have fences.
No,
you
but
know,
it wasn't. This motherfucker was at a resort, like the fucking Boca Resort.
That's
So
crazy.
the lawyer asked him, he said, you've been in jail? He said, how long you been? He said, well, I'm not in jail. They had me in a hideout, like a condo. I was behind invisible bars. Motherfucker, you were in a resort drinking at the bar. What fucking jail's that?
That's crazy.
But they count that time for them.
Yeah, they do.
No, it's crazy.
Who got the hookers? Didn't
Tommy
they get
Dell.
hookers?
Yeah,
Tommy
Tommy
Dell
Dell.
got hookers.
So Tommy Dell's one of the witnesses in the case we're
Yeah,
going to
this
talk
case.
about today. So we're here today to talk about the Frankie Flowers murder and prosecution. So it's kind of a good way to begin. So for those of you who don't know, there was a murder prosecution in Philadelphia that made big headlines, of course, but it became even more famous, frankly, for the appellate ruling reversing the conviction.
And before we get into the episode, make sure you head over to Patreon for the full episode. Sign up now.
You ain't going to believe when you hear this how crooked they were. That fucking Ron Castile, the one-leg motherfucker.
We would like to thank you for watching. Head on over to Patreon for the full episode.